What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for our last preseason match reaction. And the title is, or for me, ready for Como, but not for the season. And what I mean by that is, from what I've seen in preseason and the last game today against Atletico Madrid, we should be ready to be Como, but we're definitely not ready to go through a season with some expectations throughout that season. We're far off that. Now, a lot of people panicking for the preseason. Two defeats, one draw. Next gen doesn't count, obviously. A lot of positive things, in my opinion. A lot of negative things, but a lot of these negative things have to do with things we can fix, but haven't fixed, and probably some of them will definitely not be fixed this transfer window. That's what we're going to talk about as well, but especially about the game, the positives, and why I think we're ready for Como, but not for the rest of the season. But before we do that, as always, smash the like button. I messed that one up. Let's get to at least 100 likes on this video to kickstart off game week, basically. And yeah, let's talk about Atletico game. Okay, so 2-0, another defeat, similar to the Nuremberg defeat, in my opinion, where you concede avoidable goals and you concede some of them late, against Nuremberg. Throughout that game, you were even in terms of chance creation, just in general, because shots on target, some of those shots were long range shots. Actually, a lot of them were long range shots. We didn't have a shot on target, basically one, because Dusan, well, if you watch the game, you know why we didn't have a shot on target. But in general, let's start off with the positive things, because I think that's more important than the negative, or it's relevant more so because we changed coach, we changed a lot of things, time is needed. The only people who will not give this time are people who are butthurt that Allegri got sacked. Those people will not give Mota time. It's up to you, whatever, to ignore those people and give Mota a fair amount of time to make things work, Now, the positive things is, for me personally, fitness-wise, we are okay. Actually, we are good. Compared to the last couple of seasons, fitness-wise, it's very impressive. Keep in mind, we have 13 players. A bit later, more on that. The fact that we have 13 players to start of the season, insane. Actually insane. But we have 13 players. We started the entire game basically with the same 11 up to the 70th minute. We brought on Danilo and Fagioli. That's it. And we kept pace until the 70th minute against an Atletico side who up to that point made 6 or 7 changes. I think 6 it was. The last 20 minutes, there was a drop-off, which is only natural. The drop-off was pure. We couldn't keep up with the intensity we put in there for the first 70 minutes. That was kind of the drop-off. And the drop-off was more of leaving spaces because they couldn't run anymore. It was too much at one point. But that's only normal when you play a team who made half the team changed up to that point, and you're playing with the same guys, actually the same guys who played the last week as well, or the next gen game, as well. So that is a massive issue. But the positive thing about that, fitness-wise, it looked good. There are ideas of play. It's clear that we want to do some things playing out from the back, and that starts with the goalkeeper. He is an added player in that system, which allows us a lot of the times to just be wide open in midfield and set up that counterattack a lot of the times, which also is something positive. We actually look like we can counter. And those are positive things. There are patterns of play. There are actual things we try to do. We keep the ball a lot better. And know it's 50-50, the possession, but especially later on in the game, we kind of, fitness-wise, we couldn't keep up with it. But in general, we keep the ball much better. And not in terms of we keep it at the back, actually playing, stepping up, 1-2s, give and goes. It looks that we play with more of an idea rather than spread it to the wings and cross that ball into the box, or Chiesa, you cut inside and take a shot. It's more than that, So those are, in my opinion, positive things, Those are the things you hire a coach in the first place to set out those things. Now, that's where it kind of stops. I'll talk about individuals as well. That's where it stops. The problem is we have 13 players. That's an issue. The problem is we do not have wingers. Timothy Weah, preseason looks good. On the break, he looks good. His issue are two. His end product is not always okay. It's very hot and cold, like extreme hot and cold. And two, if you cannot get him on the break in space, he struggles to beat this man, which is weird because he's quick and he's not. Like, he's not, I don't know, like Chiellini on the ball, to make it sound worse. Like, he's decent, and for some reason, he cannot beat this man from standstill. That is an issue. That's a massive issue because you cannot counter a team for 9. You can. You definitely can do that if you want to be that team. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So that is an issue. That's one. And that's where it stops. Yildiz playing on the wing. I like Yildiz. And actually in the second half, he was impressive. Even in the first half, he was good. But in the second half, he was beating his man for fun, with consistency, which is good. And like, it's normal. He needs some time. Took 2 weeks off, whatever. Played a lot of games. It will come good with Yildiz. But the issue is, you have no subs. You have nothing. We do not have wingers. We don't have wingers. That's a massive issue, and I don't want to hear we're getting these in. Yeah, you better get these in. The issue is they're coming in too late. Motta's working with a very limited squad, and he's needing to do things he probably doesn't want to do. The issue of the team in preseason as well is we do not create chances. We get in very good positions, and then it's Timothy Weah cannot deliver, Vlahovic messing it up, or from midfield, that final pass is not really coming through. You know, it's not really 100% happening. That's where we need a court manager or an attacking midfielder, somebody who links that, somebody who has an assist in his feet, goals in his feet consistently. We miss that. Again, going to Giuntoli. That's not what Motta can fix what he's in the squad. Now, when people come in the comments, and I know they will come, they will say, oh, but Allegri didn't have those things and you expected better. I expected not to be outplayed by relegation sides on a weekly basis. That's what I was asking from Allegri week in, week out. I was not asking champagne football. I wasn't asking tiki-taka football dominating. I was asking to not look outplayed against these teams. Now, if Motta gets back by court managing these players, I expect much more than I was expecting from Allegri last season. That's 100% normal. But right now, these players are not there. They're key positions. Talking about that back line, I don't want to hear anyone say that was not a priority. It is, it was, and it still should be. We went for Calafiori and Toribo for a very good reason. A very good reason, because that back line is one Bremer injury away from being extremely poor. You know, they're not pacey, they're not quick, and on the ball, they're not good as well. Cabal, you know, it's preseason, and I don't expect much from Cabal, but we will expect much from Cabal because right now, that's who we have. He was poor today. He got caught behind his back countless times, like way too many times. Even with the penalty, it started with Fagioli tripping over the ball. I get it, but he's not up there, and I'm not expecting him to be up there. I'm not expecting Cabal to be up there. So it's not fair to look at him and be like, oh my God, we paid 12 million. There's no expectations right there. It's just maybe he comes good, maybe he doesn't come good. That's it. But we needed an upgrade at the back. We needed somebody who can play out from the back because that's what we try to do with Di Gregorio chipping in. But you also need somebody who's comfortable at the back. If some team presses our center backs, we are trying to play out from the back, we will concede common goals. Write that down. If a team presses us, when we try to play out from the back, we will make mistakes at the back that will cost us goals. You can write that down. And that can be playing Como, that can be playing Real Madrid. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So we definitely needed something. You know, when you look at that goal, Gatti plays as a center back. I'm not a big Gatti fan, but he's rash. Like, he's a very rash player. He doesn't think his decision's over. And he's not learning from that. And that's frustrating. And if you don't do that, you're not going to improve. And I've not seen improvement ever since, like last season at all. I saw a decline. And today, again, he steps out. And yes, everybody needs to react. But it's a chain, you know, it's a chain reaction. If somebody does something, everybody needs to react. But it starts with the first one. He goes in way too rash and it all kicks off. Bremer needs to pick up 2 positions. Cambiasso is delayed. It's all over the place, you know. Stupid things that you can just clear out by having better players, period, you know. That's it. Do I expect Gatti to start against Como? I hope not. I'd rather play Danilo at center back with Bremer. I really do. But I have a feeling that I think Gatti's going to play, and he's going to play Danilo in the back position. I think that's what he's going to do right now. I don't think he's going to start Cabal. Even though that lineup kind of looked like a statement of, okay, this is my starting 11 against Como. But that's one of those issues as well as chance creation. The only goals in preseason came from set pieces, which is good because if a player like Douglas Luiz, it can help, but that cannot be like I slam Allegri for it, and I will slate this team for it. I will. We getting good opportunities, but the end product is not missing. Whether it was Chiesa or Weah right now, the final pass, even from midfield, is missing. And that's not a knock on that midfield because it looked better. Thuram is a very, very good player. I said when we brought him in, I'm most excited about him, to see him develop, rather than any other player we bring in this window. I've always said it, and he was very, very good. Douglas Luiz is a very good player, but as well, in the second half or towards the end of the first half as well, you can see he's still a bit looking in terms of, okay, what is my role in this team 100%? Do I need to go? Do I not need to go? Do I need to push? Do I need to... You can see that he's still hesitating a little bit, but that's only normal because he's here for what, 2 weeks, 12 days, whatever, in training. That needs time, and I'm okay with that. I can acknowledge that, and I will give it time. That's normal. But my issue is the preseason is over, season starts, and now you're gonna add maybe a Colt Miners and a Nico Gonzalez and another player, and a player in a team that's already looking for a clear identity, and they have an identity, but like, okay, this is it, everybody gets it, and you're just adding pieces while we're still playing football, basically. That is what I don't like, you know? And that's not a Motta. He's just sitting there being like, okay, I need to do what I have to do. These are the 13 players. We left everybody at home because they need to leave. And that's a decision the club made. But Giuntoli, you need to act. You need to act. I don't want to hear, like, it's not even news if I come out saying we have an agreement with Nico Gonzalez. I don't care. Wake me up when we have him at the training facility or any winger. Then wake me basically up. Because that was what needed to happen this week. Next week, the week that comes, Monday, starting from tomorrow, it needs to be done deal. Tuesday, Nico Gonzalez needs to be at the Continassa. 2 days later, Colt Miners need to be at the Continassa. Will that happen? Absolutely not. But we have 13 players heading into that Como game. That is ridiculous. I'm not including Savona and Rui because whatever, they shouldn't be there, you know, in terms of like, that's not a player. That's a player you play when you are 4-0 up. Or you absolutely have no choice, everybody's injured. And nobody can play out of position. That's when you play these guys. Other than that, we have Fagioli and Danilo as a sub. A center back. So, I'm still positive. I will give it time, but this is my take. Let me know in the comments what you think. What do you expect on Como? Do you think we need a much? Or we don't need much? Let me know, like, and I will speak to you guys very soon.